Spookydelic Day 13, today's prompt, full moon. In my very first pumpkin video, I mentioned something that I like to call asymmetrical symmetry, which is where I draw a symmetrical composition, but change some of the details on either side so that the drawing isn't perfectly mirrored. For this full moon drawing, I'm using this technique by adding some variations in the design on either side. I'm also ramping up the spookydelic factor by going for a really surreal subject matter this time around. I'm drawing out an alien landscape with a figure emerging from the ground. I'm also including these worms and coral-like structures to allude to an underwater landscape. To make it feel more surreal and to create an impossible environment, I'll be using this underwater imagery, but it will be set in space and will also use desert-like color palettes. This way, the drawing will have familiar elements to the eye, but will feel abstract and truly alien. I'm going in and shading with some black first, just to define the subject, since I will be heavily coloring in the image later. I also chose to give the subject an oxygen mask to add to the underwater feeling, but also attached a tube to its heart, connecting its body to the landscape, as if the figure and the environment are one and the same. Now I'm coloring in the background using very warm Western themed colors, which will also give off a very 1960s pulp sci-fi look as well. I also like using warm colors for the sky because a red sky always looks more ominous and otherworldly. I gave the subject tree-like limbs, which will help frame the full moon and also give the piece an even more surreal essence, adding to the theme of the subject and the environment being interconnected. Now I'm adding black into the sky so that the atmosphere transitions from day to night, and also to better showcase the celestial objects and moon in the background. To strengthen the technique of asymmetrical symmetry, I'm adding two planets on either side of the moon. One is smaller and will be rendered like a gas giant using green, while the other is larger and will appear more rocky using bright pinks and magentas. Now I'm adding in a series of stars, starting with larger dots that are more spread out and adding smaller ones that are closer together. To add contrast to the image and separate the foreground, I will be using cooler colors against the background, which also adds to the 1960s vibe. Since the subject is backlit, I'm being very mindful of how heavy I'll be shading this in. Starting with the lighter colors first, I slowly started adding some shadows, being sure to leave a rim light around the edges due to the moon. Now, to make the moon look more like a moon and less like a sun, I'm using yellow to draw in the seas and craters, which will also keep the illusion that it's extremely bright and full. Just gotta add in my signature, and overall, I'm really loving how this piece came out. And that is a Spookydelic full moon.